What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Wassiboi React. In today's video we are going to be reacting to Casually Explain Esports. I've seen some other videos before. This guy is absolutely hilarious. His sense of humor is off the chain. You have to be switched on to understand or get the jokes, but let's get into this.
This video is brought to you by Incogni. Making a living playing your favorite sport has been a dream of youth worldwide for decades, but only recently has the dream of making a living playing your favorite video game become just as viable. And the good news is you don't need special genetics to become an elite gamer. The only thing that can stop you is mandatory military service or a wife and kids. All things any self-respecting gamer would be avoiding anyway. The first true esport was of course chess, and because back in 6th century India they hadn't invented anything for Kramnik to complain about yet, you had to use a physical screen instead of a digital one, and move each piece manually as no one had figured out how to put them into the mouse. After your opponent took their turn, you had to update the position electronically in your brain in order to generate the next move, clearly wasting everyone's time. Noticing this, chess was also the first esport to receive a balance patch, when someone during the Renaissance castled their king. While everyone thought this was a bit suspicious, he then showed that he was legit by saying, en passant, and took someone's pawn illegally. From that point on, everyone was so tempted to make a suboptimal move in order to show that they knew something other people didn't, the balance patch became the new norm. Since chess becoming the first esport, no one invented a new one for about 1400 years, until arcades started to become popular in the late 1970s and everyone started to care about what really mattered, making money playing video games. And the prize pools have only gone up since then. Back in the early 80s, if you were the best at Donkey Kong, the owner would give you your quarterback and a free milkshake. But if you're the best at your game nowadays, the House of Sod will give you a Lambo. One of the first questions you might ask about becoming an esports pro is how much money can you make? And it's a lot like professional sports. Do you mean how much money can you make, or how much money can you make? The top 100 Dota players that each mean how much money can you esports pro is how much money can you make? And it's a lot like professional sports. Do you mean how much money can you make, or how much money can you make? The top 100 Dota players have each made over $1 million in prize winnings, and there are
Hold on a second. He's talking about gambling. Wait, this is what I mean. You have to be switched on. This guy. Wait. Someone will probably know in the comments. I'll check the comments later.
And it's a lot like professional sports. Do you mean how much money can you make, or how much money can you make? The top 100 Dota players have each made over $1 million in prize winnings, and there are roughly 10 million unique players each month. This means if you play Dota about once a month, and you're an American who plays basketball once a year, if you do the math, you're statistically closer to being in the NBA. The way you can tell you've made it as a pro gamer is when people refer to you in person by your gamer tag instead of your name. This is because at one point, the entirety of your consciousness was once put towards the question, who am I? And you discovered an identity that truly resonated with your inner being. OG gamer tags carry weight because they're like domain names. If someone says, oh my god, is that Mango? With just one letter replaced by a number, you might have no idea who they are, but you know it's a flex because it's like saying you own boobies.com. One of the dangers of becoming good at a game, especially early on, is that the single most impactful event that can occur to a competitive game is the developers just fucking changing it. Take the competitive Fortnite scene. At its peak, Epic detested the competitive meta of the game because all the tryhards were actually building forts, making it hard for 6-year-olds to shoot them. So after doing everything they could to prevent this exploit, like putting in a giant sword in planes, Epic finally patched the forts out and put in Ariana Grande.
Oh, wait. So Fortnite doesn't have any more builds now? Zero build. I didn't know that. I thought you could still build, to be fair. I've never played Fortnite. I've seen some videos, but I didn't know that you can't build anymore. That's interesting.
Solved the problem. Because matchmaking pairs you with evenly ranked players, getting bopped by someone better than you is essentially unavoidable in any competitive games unless you're literally one of the best in the world. For this reason, some people start looking for something supplemental to the game to help their performance. And inevitably, exploits are found that ruin the competitive scene and give you a huge advantage. In RTS games, it's map hacks. In FPS, it's aimbot. In fighters, it's controller mods. And in Hearthstone, it's mom's credit card. Companies, of course, know that people cheating in their game causes other players to stop playing, so they don't take too kindly to it. But what do companies themselves think about their games becoming esports? A company like Valve thinks, awesome, we'll help fund some tournaments to grow the scene. Pretty much every other company thinks, awesome, we'll help fund some tournaments to grow the scene.
What in the fuck? Tencent? I didn't know Tencent owned all that. Yay. Unless they're funding it. I don't know, to be fair. Only Ubisoft. Right. They're just branding it with Ubisoft. Fair enough.
Until it's no longer in shareholder interest and then immediately drop support. And Nintendo says, go fuck yourself. Because of the difficulty of it.
Yeah, I think that's true with Nintendo. They don't give a fuck. Don't like the Japanese are tough about stuff like that in terms of like, you can't even play their video games online, or you get like copyright strike or copyright claim or whatever. Can't watch their stuff. You can't, I don't know actually, but either at some point or either they're still like that. I know they're still like that for like watching their stuff. Right, so yeah, I don't know actually.
Achieving
talking
greatness,
shit.
the question that any young person who enjoys video games asks themselves is, do I have what it takes to be a pro gamer? And the question every single adult male asks themselves is it too late? Just in general. The problem is, if you're 14, no way you can compete with adults who've been playing for years. But if you're an adult, obviously you can't compete with 14-year-olds who are playing all day. Because of this, we all know there's no way to hurt a guy's feelings faster than saying, you play that game all the time. You must be really good by now. Which is why if you're a girl, there's some hard to swallow pills you have to understand as to why we still haven't got a Lambo or a free milkshake. If it's Counter-Strike or Valorant, it's because of work he's forced to use a trash setup that's ruining his gameplay. If it's StarCraft 1, it's because he plays Terran. If it's StarCraft 2, you need to educate yourself on the Zerg Cabal. If it's League or Dota, he probably has social anxiety when not speaking in Russian, Portuguese, or above 110 decibels. If it's Street Fighter, you need to know that Cammy and Chun-Li are actually very low-tier characters. No need to fact-check this information. If it's Bullet Chess, it's because fiber internet is actually very commonplace in India. If it's Hearthstone, it's because Jerome Powell won't lower interest rates. If it's Rocket League, not even joking, this game might actually be easier with real cars. Nevertheless, at the end of the day, as we've already established, the best thing you can do for your boyfriend's esports career is to leave him. Just remember, it's not him, it's you. Helping him. If you're the one trying to rise through the ranks, however, just remember that video games are meant to be fun, not a competition, which is my preferred coping mechanism when I enter a tournament and lose to a Korean child. Nevertheless, as someone who's been to a
pretty
few
good
before,
over there.
you can always go to a video game tournament just for the experience. You get to enjoy not just the show, the competition, the fragrance, but you also get to meet the community in real life instead of just online and see what people are really like. You may regret this part. At least that's what their body language said to me. If you are thinking of signing up for even a local tournament, just remember that the worst that can happen is they ask for your Xbox Live gamertag, which you can't risk falling into the hands of your enemies, along with your associated email, old YouTube, DeviantArt, and possibly Snapchat. You wouldn't find yourself in this position if you used today's sponsor Incognito.
Okay, so I had to skip that the last bit for the sponsor thing. But anyway, that was pretty hilarious. I mean, the guy's always fucking funny. But yeah, let's see what some of the comments are saying. That friend who gives you life advice while wearing pajamas and eating cereal straight from the box. The question every adult asks himself, is it too late? Just in general. Every Rocket League player can agree that you hit the nail in the head at 454. I mean, I've never played Rocket League. It doesn't like something that interests me. And when I watch people play it online, it just looks weird, bro. Like they have no control. So that's gonna do it for the video. Thank you very much for watching. This was Casually Explained. Go and subscribe to this channel because the guy is fucking funny. Subscribe to mine as well. I don't know what I'm saying. Go and subscribe to him because I got no fucking subscribers. Wassiboi, signing out.